Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or struggled to remember the name of someone you just met? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get older, it's easy to assume that memory slips and mental fog are just part of aging. But what if I told you that your brain has the ability to stay sharp, focused, and full of energy, no matter your age? The truth is, just like our muscles, our brains need exercise and care to stay strong. And the best part? It doesn't take hours of studying or complicated puzzles. In fact, small daily habits can make a world of difference in keeping your mind clear, your memory sharp, and your thinking quick. In this video, we're diving into 6 simple yet powerful habits that can help train your brain to stay young. These are science-backed techniques that anyone can do, and they don't require fancy gadgets or expensive programs. Just small, intentional changes that will keep your mind working at its best. Let's start with the first habit, and it's one you might not expect: staying curious. You see, the brain thrives on learning. It's like a muscle. The more you challenge it, the stronger it becomes. But here's the mistake many people make. They assume that learning ends once they're out of school or done with their careers. In reality, the moment you stop learning new things, your brain starts slowing down. Think of it this way. Imagine you have a car that's been sitting and used for months. What happens when you finally try to start it? The battery is weak, the engine is sluggish, and it takes longer to get moving. Your brain works the same way. If you're not feeding it new information, it doesn't stay as efficient as it once was. But don't worry, keeping your mind active doesn't mean going back to school or memorizing facts like you're studying for a test. It's about staying curious and seeking out new experiences. That could mean learning a new hobby, picking up a musical instrument, or even trying out a different route on your daily walk. Have you ever wanted to learn a few words in a new language? Or maybe try cooking a dish from another culture? These small things challenge your brain in a fun and engaging way. And here's the kicker. Learning new things actually builds new connections between brain cells, which keeps your mind strong. Research has shown that people who continue to learn and challenge their minds are less likely to develop cognitive decline as they age. So, the next time you find yourself in the comfort of your usual routine, ask yourself, when was the last time I did something for the first time? Now, let's talk about another habit that has a huge impact on your mental clarity: movement. You might be wondering, what does exercise have to do with brain health? Well, a lot more than you'd think. Moving your body increases blood flow to the brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that help keep it sharp. In fact, studies have shown that regular physical activity can actually grow new brain cells. Yes, you heard that right. Exercise can help your brain regenerate and stay youthful. And before you start picturing intense workouts or heavy lifting, let me assure you, keeping your brain young doesn't require running marathons or spending hours at the gym. Simple, enjoyable movement is all it takes. A brisk walk around the neighborhood, some gentle yoga, or even dancing around the living room to your favorite music, these all count. The key is consistency. Here's something interesting. Have you ever noticed that after a short walk, you feel more awake and clear-headed? That's because exercise releases chemicals in the brain called endorphins, which boost your mood and help with focus. Plus, it reduces stress, something that can cloud your thinking if left unchecked. So, if you want to keep your mind sharp, make movement a daily habit. Even just 20 to 30 minutes of light activity can make a big difference. And the best part? You don't have to do it all at once. A few short walks spread throughout the day work just as well as one longer session. The goal is to keep your body moving so that your brain stays active too. Now that we've talked about the power of curiosity and movement, let's explore another habit that plays a crucial role in keeping your brain young. Another powerful way to keep your brain young is by staying socially connected. Now, this might seem surprising, but having meaningful conversations and engaging with others regularly is just as important for your brain as learning and movement. Think about this. Have you ever had a long, deep conversation with a friend or family member and walked away feeling energized? That's because social interaction stimulates your brain in ways that solitary activities just don't. Every time you talk to someone, your brain is processing words, emotions, and ideas, all while keeping up with the flow of conversation. It's like a mental workout that keeps your thinking skills sharp. But here's where many people run into trouble. As we get older, it's easy to become more isolated. Maybe friends move away, family members get busy, or life just slows down. The problem is, loneliness and lack of social engagement can actually speed up cognitive decline. In fact, studies have found that people who maintain strong social connections are at a lower risk of dementia and memory problems. Now, if you're someone who prefers quiet time or isn't naturally social, don't worry. This doesn't mean you have to be at social events every day. The key is quality over quantity. A few meaningful conversations a week with friends, family, or even neighbors can do wonders for your brain. And if you're looking for ways to stay connected, consider joining a local club, a community group, or even an online discussion forum. Technology makes it easier than ever to stay in touch, even if people aren't physically nearby. And here's a little challenge for you. Reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Give them a call, send a message, or even write a letter. You might be surprised at how uplifting it feels, not just for them but for you too. Now, while social connections help keep your brain engaged, there's another habit that's just as essential: getting quality sleep. Many people think that forgetfulness or brain fog comes naturally with age, but in reality, poor sleep is often the culprit. When we sleep, our brains go through a deep cleaning process, clearing out toxins and strengthening memory. It's like hitting the reset button for your mind. But if you're not getting enough rest, or if your sleep is frequently interrupted, your brain doesn't get the time it needs to do this important work. Ever notice how after a bad night's sleep, everything feels harder the next day? Your thoughts feel slower, your memory isn't as sharp, and even simple tasks seem more frustrating. That's because sleep isn't just about resting your body. It's a crucial part of keeping your brain functioning at its best. So, what can you do to improve your sleep? One of the biggest game changers is sticking to a consistent bedtime. Your brain thrives on routine, and going to bed and waking up at the same time each day helps regulate your internal clock. Also, try to avoid screens, like phones, tablets, or TV, at least an hour before bed, as the blue light from screens can trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Instead, opt for a relaxing activity like reading a book, listening to soothing music, or even practicing a little deep breathing to help signal to your body that it's time to unwind. And if you struggle with waking up in the middle of the night, try keeping the room cool, dark, and quiet. Sometimes, even small adjustments, like using blackout curtains or a white noise machine, can make a huge difference in the quality of your sleep. Now that we've covered the importance of social connections and sleep, let's move on to another simple yet powerful habit for keeping your brain young. One of the most overlooked but incredibly powerful habits for keeping your brain young is feeding it the right fuel. You've probably heard the saying, "You are what you eat." Well, that applies to your brain too. The foods you choose every day can either support clear thinking and memory or contribute to brain fog and sluggishness. If you've ever felt mentally drained after a heavy, processed meal, that's your brain's way of telling you it's not getting the right fuel. So, what should you be eating to keep your mind sharp? A great place to start is with brain-boosting healthy fats, things like walnuts, avocados, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon. These foods contain omega-3 fatty acids, which help keep brain cells strong and improve communication between them. In fact, research has shown that people who eat more omega-3s tend to have better memory and a lower risk of cognitive decline. Then there are antioxidant-rich foods like blueberries, leafy greens, and dark chocolate. Yes, chocolate. These foods help fight inflammation in the brain and protect it from damage over time. Even just adding a handful of berries to your breakfast or sneaking some spinach into your lunch can make a difference. And here's an easy but powerful swap. Try cutting back on processed foods and refined sugars. Things like white bread, sugary snacks, and sodas can cause spikes and crashes in your blood sugar, leading to energy dips and brain fog. Instead, go for whole, natural foods that provide steady energy throughout the day. And don't forget to stay hydrated. Dehydration, even mild, can cause confusion, headaches, and fatigue. Aim to drink plenty of water throughout the day. If plain water feels boring, try adding a slice of lemon or cucumber for a little flavor boost. Now, while eating well nourishes your brain, there's another habit that plays a huge role in keeping it young: managing stress. We all experience stress from time to time, but chronic stress that lingers for days, weeks, or even months, can do real damage to your brain. It raises levels of a hormone called cortisol, which, over time, can shrink the memory center of the brain. Ever noticed how when you're stressed, it's harder to focus or remember things? That's no coincidence. The good news is, managing stress doesn't have to be complicated. Simple habits like deep breathing, meditation, or even just stepping outside for fresh air can calm your nervous system and help your brain function at its best. One of the easiest ways to relieve stress is practicing gratitude. It might sound too simple, but taking just a few moments each day to focus on things you're grateful for has been shown to lower stress levels and improve overall well-being. Before you go to bed, try thinking of 3 things that made you smile that day, no matter how small. Maybe it was a phone call with a loved one, a beautiful sunset, or even just a warm cup of coffee in the morning. Over time, this habit can shift your mindset and help your brain stay in a positive, balanced state. Now that we've talked about the power of good nutrition and stress management, let's dive into one final habit that can help your brain stay young. One of the most rewarding things you can do for your brain is to challenge it regularly. You see, the brain loves novelty. It thrives when it's faced with new challenges, and the more you engage in mentally stimulating activities, the stronger your cognitive abilities stay. Think of your brain like a garden. If you plant new seeds, water them, and tend to them, the garden flourishes. But if you neglect it, weeds take over, and it starts to wither. Your mind works the same way. Keeping it engaged with new and challenging activities is like watering and nourishing it, ensuring that it stays sharp and vibrant for years to come. So, what are some simple ways to challenge your brain? Reading is one of the best. Whether it's books, magazines, or even online articles, reading stimulates different parts of the brain responsible for comprehension, memory, and focus. If you want to make it even more effective, try reading something outside of your usual interests. If you love fiction, give a history book a try. If you typically read news articles, explore a novel. The key is to introduce variety so your brain stays on its toes. Another fantastic brain workout? Puzzles and games. Crossword puzzles, Sudoku, chess, and even card games like bridge all engage problem-solving skills and memory. But don't just stick to the ones you're good at. Trying new games forces your brain to think in different ways, which is exactly what keeps it strong. And here's a fun one: learn something new. Whether it's a musical instrument, a new dance move, or even just a different way of doing something you've always done, learning keeps your brain young. Have you ever noticed how kids pick up new skills so quickly? That's because their brains are constantly being challenged with new information. The good news is, that ability doesn't go away, it just needs to be reawakened. And let's not forget one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to keep your mind sharp: laughter. Yes, you heard that right. Laughter isn't just good for your mood, it actually stimulates different regions of the brain, improving memory and creativity. So, watch a funny movie, spend time with people who make you laugh, or even just smile more often. Keeping a lighthearted attitude can go a long way in maintaining mental clarity. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. From staying curious and moving your body to social connections, good nutrition, stress management, and mental challenges, each of these habits plays a vital role in keeping your brain strong. And the best part? You don't have to do them all perfectly. Even small, consistent steps can lead to big improvements over time. So, here's my challenge to you. Pick just one habit from this list and start incorporating it into your daily routine. Maybe today, you go for a short walk. Tomorrow, you try a new food. The day after that, you call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Every little effort counts. Remember, your brain is capable of staying sharp, focused, and youthful, no matter your age. It's never too late to start making changes that will keep your mind clear and your memory strong for years to come. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more tips on staying healthy and happy at any age. I'd also love to hear from you. What's one thing you do to keep your brain sharp? Let me know in the comments. Here's to living your best life, one habit at a time. See you in the next video.